welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel, Inner Journey with Meditation. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about ways and how you can connect with your inner being. The thing about this is, I'm hoping at the end of this video, I haven't actually scripted this out, that I will be able to provide you with some sort of clarity. Because the more I thought about this, the more I realized that perhaps connection or communication with your inner being may not be as easy as I may portray sometimes. So I'm going to back up a little bit and just explain why I've come to this conclusion. If you recall, I said I listened to a lot of Abraham Hicks, Seth, and then I came to the conclusion that I had an inner being. Abraham Hicks talks a lot about aligning with your inner being. I listened recently to Eckhart Tolle. I sort of one or two videos on YouTube, and I've also listened to a couple of videos by Moji, and it suddenly occurred to me that Abraham Hicks talks about just chill, just relax, and align with your inner being. Eckhart Tolle talks about being in the present moment. Being in the present moment. Moji, I think it's Moji. In my head, I keep thinking Mojiji. I apologize if it's Mojiji and I'm saying Moji, but I'm just gonna say Moji for this video. And really, Moji is very much, it's so simple. It's just so simple. And in my view, these are enlightened beings, enlightened ones. These are people that have connected with their inner beings, that are in communication in some way. They are. I think these masters, teachers are in communication with their inner being. That's my assumption. But the thing about it is, I also note, or it occurred to me, that their connection is somewhat different. So they're connecting to their inner consciousness, obviously communicating in some form to them, and this is what they're bringing to teach the rest of us, right? When you think about Abraham Hicks, Esther is always chilled. She's always just relax and it'll come. And the thing is, I believe that it's in that state, that mode of operation mode is that I think that's where, and that's how she connects with her inner being. I think, to me, that's how and this is why Esther teaches, just align with your inner being, and all you have to do is just be happy. So Esther tries and strives to be happy in everything, just to keep her in alignment. Now, when you come to Eckhart Tolle, any question you ask him, he always tells you, be in the present moment. And so I think that must, to me, I think that must be where he finds his answer and his greatest joy. He must find it there in the present moment. That is where his inner being communicates with him. And so this is what he's teaching the rest of us. When you go to the present moment, that's where you'll find answers to everything. Because this is what Eckhart Tolle is trying to tell us. And then we have Mochi, and Mochi says, his phrase was, it's so simple. It's just so simple. Connecting with your inner consciousness, the wider consciousness. He doesn't use those words. Those are my words. But for me, I'm looking at these three very good, amazing teachers, and I see a difference in the way in their approach to their connection to their inner being, and in how they are teaching the rest of us how to connect with our inner self through this method that they know. And I suddenly felt, I didn't feel sad, but I just thought, well, I felt that it didn't seem, and not that it didn't seem fair, I felt, well, this is how people might view me. People, not view me as one of the teachers, no, not that. But that I'm saying, connect with your inner being. Just connect with your inner being. Connect with your inner being and all your problems will be solved. So I'm saying that in the same way that these teachers are saying, be in the present moment. It's so simple. Just relax, just chill. I'm saying it in the same way as if it's so obvious. And I say it because to me, it is obvious. It's such an obvious thing but I suddenly became conscious or aware. I'm kind of worried about using those terminologies now. I suddenly became aware of the fact that, hang on, if these teachers are connecting with their inner consciousness in these different ways, and mine is also different to theirs, then how easy is it for the wider population to connect to their inner being? I suddenly felt like, that it must be different for different people. It's all well and good me saying, connect with your inner being. Your problems will be solved. And then you say to me, well, how do I connect with my inner being? And I say, well, just talk to your inner being. Say, get the hell off that chair or something. And I say, well, just meditate and just notice the simple things in life. I just thought, I have given example or my experience of how I connected with my inner being. And I think I suddenly realized that even if somebody else followed the exact same procedure or process, there really is no guarantee that you will connect with your inner being in the same way as I have. And I was a bit annoyed because I thought, well, it's all well and good telling people connect with your inner being, but if they don't know how, well, if they don't know how then do you expect them to connect or them to communicate? How then do you expect them to communicate with their inner self, inner being, inner consciousness? And this was a question I asked my inner being. And I wish I could give you an answer to say this is the answer, but unfortunately there isn't, because what happened was I recognized that even me showing you and explaining to you in my meditation, how do you meditate, video part 2, this is what I did, and this is how I connected with my inner being, that even with that you may not, and I'm thinking, if I was on the other side of this video watching, it might be a bit doom and gloom, like, well, like, that's not gonna happen to me. But what I'm saying is, I guess I just want you to know that, to take heart, that just because you don't connect or communicate the way I do doesn't mean that you cannot connect or communicate the way you want to, because you have to remember that as long as it's what you want, it will happen. If you want it, it will happen. That's one thing. For sure, if you want to connect and communicate with your inner being, it will happen. So that's one thing. Then we come back to how. And I thought about my parent and child analogy in one of my What's Your Inner Being videos, and that I used. I said, imagine your inner being is the parent, and that you, the outer consciousness, you're the child. Your inner being is larger in magnitude, in terms of energy, more than you are, as an inner consciousness, more than you are in any case. But every time I think of the parent and child analogy, and I always see myself as the child, talking to the parent. I ask this question again in that scenario, saying to my inner being, I'm the child here. I know that there's a parent in this room. I want to speak to you. I don't know where you are. How is it then that I must be the one to search for you? That didn't make sense to me. I just thought it doesn't seem fair, if you want to connect to your inner being, to be the one looking for, where is my inner being? Okay, I want to connect and I want to communicate. It didn't really seem fair. And I think that your inner being I think there should be a greater onus on your inner being to connect and communicate with you. So I think there should be a greater responsibility on the part of your inner being, because your inner being knows that you want to communicate and connect with them, knows what you prefer. And actually, before you were born, your storyline of how you were going to live this life and connect has already been laid out. So your inner being knows, you don't know that, but your inner being knows that. So if your inner being knows how you can communicate with them, or the easiest way, or whatever it is you've agreed, you as the outer consciousness just want to know, what do I need to do? At least this is the question I would ask. Like, oh, so you've made all these plans, all this decision in this story, just tell me. So with that in mind, I think that there's two things that I'd like to say. One of them is, if you think in terms of the connection, the interconnectedness, the interconnectedness of the universe. I'm connected to my inner being is connected to my higher self, the higher self is connected to source, and source is connected to all living things, physical and non-physical. So I can, technically speaking, and again, it's obviously part of my other business, where I can get information about your auric field from your inner being and your higher self. That's communicated to my higher self. So on one hand, I feel like there's something about being able to ask, well, what is the best way for me, or what do I need to do for me to communicate and connect to my inner being? And if I, Doris, can get your auric information via my inner being, then I should be able to get that. I should be able to get that information about how you can make your connection with your inner being. This is not something that I have ever asked, because it's just something that dawned on me. It's one way that might work. Like I said, I've never asked, I've never done it or requested that information. I don't know if it will be given. I just assume that everybody can connect with their inner being in their own way, in their own time. But if you are interested, I would like to test this out. So if you are interested in connecting with your inner being, not connecting with your inner being, in knowing how to connect with your inner being, your root of connection, if you're interested in that, I would say get in touch with me and let me find out for you. I don't see myself as a psychic or medium. No. I'm not interested in that. No, I'm not trying to, or what is it? Clairvoyant, whatever. No. It's just, for me, theoretically, I know that I can get your auric information via my inner being. I communicate with my inner being, and through the interconnectedness of things, I can obtain your auric information via your inner being. But then what if there are other communications? What if there are other information, such as, what do I need to do? How can I connect with my inner being? What if that's possible? Like I said, I would want to find out if it is, and so please get in touch if it's something you're interested in, and we could have a conversation and try it out. It's something I would like to do. But the one thing, I'm a little bit hesitant here. I'm a little bit hesitant because I said I'm not a psychic or a medium or channeler or all those other names. I'm not one of those. I don't see myself as those. So it's nothing to do with that. It's more, I'm just genuinely interested in the fact that I know I can communicate with my wider consciousness, and I already use it, a subset of this communication, for a part of a business that I run. Can I use it for other information such as that? And it's just something I would like to explore. So if you're interested, yes, please do get in touch with me. I will post I'll post my email in the description section of this video, because it's something that I'm interested in trying out. The second thing is really, I think you have to cultivate a relationship with your inner being. And this is why, one of the reasons I say I'm not a psychic. Number one, I really am not a psychic or a medium. I'm not one of those. I do not advocate for you. I do not advocate for you to come to me to tell you about your future. No, not like that. And then you say, a psychic told me this, and then you either follow it to the letter, or you don't follow it, or you sit and watch out for things to happen. No, I'm talking about a situation where you have to cultivate your own relationship with your inner being. Not me telling you what you're going to see, blue flowers in May or June or December or some silliness like that. No, it's about you making your own connection with your inner being. And so with that, I really only want to talk to people that are already, I was going to say already on their path, already on their journey, but I think it's not really fair for those people who aren't even aware. I really want to talk to those people who are committed to discovering themselves. That's all I can say. People that are committed to discovering themselves. That's who I would prefer to communicate with. I'm not trying to give some prediction of a disaster or no disaster, or some big money hiding somewhere in the woods. No, I wouldn't get that anyway, just so you know. It's more, I think it's more, if consciousness is interconnected, as I've said, consciousness should be able to give other information, such as your preference for your communication, for your connection to your inner being. And it's something, yeah. So please do get in touch. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video.